idea. And what I'm really fascinated by, those of you who know my podcast know that I read short stories, and one of the first short stories I think I read was The Lottery by Shirley Jackson, 1948 short story, which most of us read in high school. But I really encourage you to read the story again through this lens, because in this short story that she got a lot of flack for when it first came out, it's just fascinating, and I don't want to reveal too much if you haven't read it in a while, but it's basically about the choosing of a sacrificial victim for this kind of long-term ongoing ritual that they have in this town. And she really sheds light on our ability, humans' ability, to cling blindly to meaningless rituals, and she really brings it to light, and it's just done so beautifully and so well. And what's so interesting is in the story, when one of the townspeople hears about another town that wants to stop this meaningless ritual, they say their reason for being shocked and stunned and bothered by this is they can't stop doing this. There's always been a lottery. And we use that same justification for eating animals. We can't stop eating animals. We've always eaten animals, as if we have to continue doing something we've always done, when in fact that's not the case, of course. Once we grow and know better, we make better choices and more compassionate choices. Just because we've always done something doesn't mean we always have to continue doing it. Just because we can doesn't mean we should. But that's certainly the way it's couched when we're talking to people around the holidays. And what I think happens is, especially when we're talking about turkeys at Thanksgiving or eggs at Easter time, for instance, I think what happens is that people have really forgotten the meaning of these holidays, and they get hung up on the symbol of the meanings of these holidays. So eggs is such a perfect example, because eggs are already the symbol. Eggs are the symbol of rebirth and regeneration and spring. I mean, that's the whole point of spring, is that it's a new, it's a new time, it's a new birth of all the flowers and just life. The eggs are the symbol of that. So they're already in a symbol mode. They get hung up on that symbol, though, and forget about the meaning. And of course, turkeys, that has nothing to do with any symbolism at all, and we'll talk about the history of that. But what I really recommend is that when we're talking to people about the holidays and them getting hung up on these symbols, that we encourage them to go underneath that and ask what the real meaning of these holidays are for people, because they really are deeper than that. When we think of Thanksgiving, unfortunately, people immediately think of turkeys. I cannot stand when people call it Turkey Day. Even when vegans call it Tofurkey Day, because it puts it on that, that symbol and that alternate, which I think that alternative symbol to turkeys, which it's so much deeper than that. For me, Thanksgiving is about gratitude, and it's about community, it's about family, it's about coming together. Passover is about mercy and about freedom from slavery, and Easter, again, is about rebirth, etc. So if we can help people and guide them from the symbols back to the meanings, I think it's really helpful in our conversation with people, because again, I'm going to talk about this tonight in the plenary, is finding common ground. Because if we immediately talk about the symbols, then we're getting hung up on it too. The tofurkey, for instance. What do you have for Thanksgiving? Do you turkey? No, I have tofurkey. No, I'm celebrating the harvest. I'm celebrating what the meaning of this time of year is all about. And one of the problems is that we get so hung up on it because we use this first Thanksgiving from 1621 as the touchstone, as the justification for all of what we do today, as if we followed some linear line from 1621 to. They didn't follow a linear line. They didn't call it the first Thanksgiving in 1621 when the colonists and the Wampanoag Indians first got together. That's not what it was about for them. And so we use this as a touchstone. We use this as a way to justify consuming turkey at Thanksgiving time. The fact is that Thanksgiving, as we celebrate it today, was contrived and developed over centuries and centuries. I mean, we do not do what they did in 1621. And what we really care about is not really replicating exactly what they did in 1621, although that's what people would have you think. And most people don't even know what they were doing in 1621. Some people get a little too obsessed about what they ate in 1621. And there's this kind of whole romantic movement about trying to eat exactly